All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Hot Rods and Dad Bods. I've made two other videos. The Ford wagon, piece of shit. Completely tore it down. Motor is shit. Car is shit. Everything's shit. This wagon, I can't get boost in it. I've made, I don't know, probably two other videos of me trying to get this thing to hit boost. It's gotten to the point where I've gotten help from Dylan. Neither of us can figure it out. So, we remade the hot side. I remade the charge pipe 3 times. And still nothing. So, I decided that I was getting a different carb. I was going to get the same exact carb that's on Dylan's Falcon, because that's really the only two differences between our cars. We did notice that my carb, every time I'd hit boost, let me back it up. The car would hit boost once and then never hit boost again. That was it, until you tore it back apart and put it back together. So weird. I want to start off by saying I used 2 different turbos. See the one, I'm very frustrated with this. 2 different turbos, 3 different wastegates, 3 different charge pipes, 2 different hot sides. It didn't matter, didn't care. So, we've since replaced the intake gasket, which is also the exhaust gasket on these, just to kind of throw that out. It's got a good wastegate on it. It's got an awesome little turbo on it. I went and bought the same carb as what's on Dylan's car. That carb is accepting boost and not pitching a fit, as to where my old one, it would blow the gaskets out every other time. It was just being a real pile of hell. So, that carb's here. I'll open this up. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it or not off camera. I did. Took the carb apart, welded a 3-inch pipe onto it, and modified the linkage to where it'll get the throttle. Still have a little bit more to do on there, but I'm not even worried about that right now. What we're doing is completely remaking the turbo kit. Well, the charge pipe side and the exhaust. I'm going to make the exhaust bigger, and the charge pipe, I'm going to give it a little bit more length, hoping for some volume. That's it. If it doesn't work today, it doesn't work then. We're going into the challenge without boost. I don't give a rat's ass. I'm genuinely over it. I didn't post the other videos because they weren't successful. No one wants to watch 25 minutes of failure. Maybe some other time. But yeah, so we're going to remake everything, make it look real complicated. That way, if it doesn't hit boost, at least it looks cool as hell. So, plan is, get that pipe come up, come down, come back into the turbo. I'm going to move it to a 3.5-inch aluminum exhaust. Hopefully build like a teardrop kind of thing. That'll be pretty cool. And then hopefully, in the next couple hours after we're done building that, we'll go out and we'll hit boost. And if it does, we're going to jump right into the challenge, because at the beginning of this challenge, I said we'll give Dylan a little bit of time to catch up. Well, Dylan's had a couple weeks and his car is caught up and good, and now my car needs to catch up. So Dylan's waiting on me at this point. So, we're just going to go with it. Like I said, if it doesn't make boost, it doesn't make boost. I mean, I do care, but I'm done messing with it. I'm done giving up my life to this damn thing. So, we will, yeah. We'll go into some time lapse of me cutting some things up, welding some stuff, putting it on, yada, yada, yada. Also want to touch base on the Ford wagon. So, the Ford wagon, got it running. Thing, didn't want to make oil pressure. Tore it all apart. Put an oil pump in it. Still didn't want to make oil pressure. Found out the rockers were clogged. Cleaned the rockers. It made oil pressure for 0.4 seconds. And then clogged up again. I got pissed off because that's what I do. And I pulled the motor and the tranny out. I found out that the motor was pretty gunked up with stuff. I mean, that's just how it goes. Back in the day, they didn't have good oil, so the oil would sludge up real easy. And that's actually, that thing was a victim of that. But while the motor's out, we're going to re-ring it, re-bearing it, flip the manifolds around, put a 80mm turbo on it. You know, cool stuff like that. But that's going to be a longer-term project now. So, we'll get more videos on that. I actually have a whole bunch more of the motor teardown. It's sitting over here, pistons all cleaned, ready to be ringed up, yada, yada, yada. And then also, my last video, the editing, well, the rendering was bad. It was in the wrong size. I couldn't fix it. I pulled it down, tried to re-upload it. It just didn't work out. I've since then changed programs. I talked to a couple other YouTubers and got some pointers there. So I've since changed programs, and this will be the first upload with that. Hopefully it goes well. My goal here is to get better. So sorry about that one. On to the next. All right, let's quit talking about dumb stuff and actually get to building this thing. Here we go. All right, guys. We're gonna do a little pause in the welding time lapse here and do some tech tips with Tubby. If you don't have a bead roller because you're like me and you just can't afford one, there's still a way to do this. You're gonna grab you some wire crimps, grab your aluminum pipe, make sure they're facing up. Make sure the hump is facing up. You always want to hump up. And just like that, put a couple divots in it, and now your coupler has something to grab onto. Ta-da! And on the 56 turbo kit and the 9000s try, we make boost. It ended up being the carb. So this is the same carb that Dylan has on his car, and his car loves the boost. So if you're wondering on these old 6-cylinders, if you want to get a blow-through style carb that is cheap and affordable, these things are $54 on Amazon, and they'll let you hit some boost. I think Dylan's car, I'm pretty sure that car's seen like 18 pounds of boost. So this one's sitting between about 4 and 5. Clutch is already slipping on the 1-2 shift, so don't know how much higher we can go. I'm actually out here right now because me and Dylan were gonna do some draggy stuff. Unfortunately, my draggy is dead, so that's gonna be a no-go. But we did it. Thank God we did it. It's not fast. It's much faster than it was, and I'd love to turn it up more. Unfortunately, it's just not in the cards for it. the clutch is just not going to hold it. So we're going to have fun with what we got and do what we can. And yeah, that's just it. The challenge is actually, we're going to start filming for it tomorrow. So we are going to for sure do the road trip part of it tomorrow. We got about 2.5 to 3 hours worth of driving to do. We'll see how that goes. Both these cars have a mind of their own. So I'm going to be nice to mine. Dylan is incapable of being nice to his, so we'll see where that gets him. But I just wanted to do a little checkup and show you guys that it's all said and done. This is the new kit. I think it turned out awesome. It looks a lot cooler. It's got 2 hater pipes, all the cool stuff going on. And I'll give you guys a little bit of a in-car driving deal. Trying to think of what all I changed the charge pipe. Obviously, I put a different exhaust on it. I made a 3.5-inch exhaust, pulled the hater pipe out, all that cool stuff. But yeah, that's it, guys. Hey, thank you for watching, and we'll be back with the challenge here soon. It's so crazy hitting boost in this thing. I'm used to wild shit, so this isn't like, I don't know, it doesn't do any of that, but it feels just as sketchy because the damn car is so loose. I'm telling you, 45 feels like 196.4 mile an hour in this thing. So remember how I said, oh, I'm gonna leave it alone, clutch is slipping. Yeah. Well, I lied. As I was in there eating dinner, just shoving pizza, meleeing it into my mouth, all I could think about was making more boost on this girl. So, what we figured out so far is the jet size dictates the boost. I know that sounds stupid, but that's just how it works. The larger the jet, the more boost we get. We went from like a 70 something, it didn't really make any boost, felt pretty normal, to an 80 something, it started making boost, was lean popping, to a 99, she loves life. She's just force feeding this shit down her throat. So, obviously 99's the biggest one we got. I read online that 99's like an 1/8 inch hole. So, I grabbed a 5/32 drill and a stock jet, and I just hammered it down through there. I think 5/32 is about as big as you can go before you knock the threads off the backside of the jet. So, I'm going to put it in here. If it runs better, if it makes more boost and does what it's supposed to even more, I'm just going to pull the jet out, throw that thing in the damn toilet and flush it. I don't think we need a jet in this car. I don't think, that's not how it works. So, I'm going to slam this in that there Chinese carb, and then the next time you guys see me, we'll be in the car taking a dark ride through neighborhoods and, you know, potentially making enough boost to send the transmission through the side of my legs.